Albert Einstein said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. When I was 16 years old, I left Uzbekistan and I went to the United States with just $108 in my pocket. By the time I turned 25, I made my first $1 million and became a millionaire. Yes, you can say that it's because it's the American dream, and because of meritocracy, I got into Wharton, the #1 finance school in the world, on a full scholarship. Or you can say that America is a land of opportunities, so I got a job on Wall Street, but without any connections whatsoever, because I was an ordinary girl in Uzbekistan from a very average family. But what helped me, there is another key ingredient that helped me, is compound effect. It helped me make money and multiply my money. Now, everyone I know dreams about financial freedom, financial independence. But the problem is they don't know how to get there. Even if they have money, they don't know how to make the money work for them, because nobody wants to work for money. Everyone wants the money to work for them. Why do they not know? Because of lack of financial literacy. Usually, when people want to invest, they don't know what to invest in, or they think that the money that they have is not enough to be invested. Now, in Uzbekistan, when people want to invest money, they usually know only one way to invest, and that is to invest in real estate. Now, it's a great investment, but the problem is it's a high-ticket investment. If you want to invest in real estate, you need a big sum of money, right? So you need to save up that sum of money, but it's hard. Plus, in Uzbekistan, when you invest in real estate, it's usually all cash, because the mortgage market is not developed yet, and the mortgage rates are very high. So a lot of people don't end up saving up to invest in real estate, and they just don't invest at all. Or you have another class of people. They have money. Some of them have a little bit of money. Some of them have a lot of money, but that money sits in cash. It sits under the mattress, or it sits under the pillow, or my favorite one is it sits under the towels. And imagine that cash is sitting there, lots and lots of cash, and it's losing its value every day because of inflation, when it could have been earning the owner of that cash a lot of money, but with the use of compound effect. So now you can ask me, what is compound effect? And I will tell you, compound effect is basically small actions, but on a consistent basis over a long term, leading to very big results. Sometimes even much bigger results than if you had big actions over a short period of time. And it works, the compound effect works in everything in life. I would like today to show you how it works in success, and maybe people here know Darren Hardy's book called The Compound Effect. And there he has this amazing, well, this was Albert Einstein. He has this graph. This graph shows us that if every day we improve just by 1%, at the end of the year, the improvement will be 37 times. Yes, you heard me right, 37 times. Not by 37%, but 37 times. That shows you that small actions on a consistent basis lead to very big results. And it's the same with finance. Benjamin Franklin, who is the founding father of the United States, who is dearly loved the world over because his face is on the even more loved $100 bill, once said, "Money makes money, and the money that money makes more money." What he referred to was compound interest. And let's see, what is compound interest? Compound interest is when you invest some money, your initial investment, and that money makes money for you, it makes interest for you, and then you reinvest that initial investment and interest. To make it easier, I'll show you an example now. Let's say we take $100. I'm sure everyone has $100. You put $100 at 10% per year, which is also quite low for Uzbekistan. If you put $100 at 10% per year, in the first year, it will make you $10. So at the end of the first year, you will get $110. You get your $100 back, plus you make $10. That's a 10% interest. In the second year, if you reinvest that $100 and the $10 that you make, you will get $121 back, because the interest you make will now be $11, because that's 10% of $110. And then it goes on and on like that. The key is to reinvest it. So you can see at the end of 5 years, you have $161. At the end of 10 years, it's $259. At the end of 20 years, $673. At the end of 30 years, $1,745. At the end of 40 years, $4,526. And at the end of 50 years, it's $11,739. Just think about it. $100 that you invested once at not such a high rate, only 10% per year. But in 50 years, it compounded to $11,739. Why did it do that? Because that's how compounding works. And that's why Einstein said it's the most powerful force in the universe. Now, I want to say that the most important part here is reinvestment. The $10 that you made, you put it back. The next year you made $11, you again put it back. So that's the key. You have to keep reinvesting the money that your money made for you. Then you will have compounding. It's like the snowball effect. You know, you stand on top of the mountain, you take a very small snowball, you roll it down, and by the time it goes down all the way to the bottom, it becomes a huge snowball. So reinvestment is one. The second thing is time. We're going to go back to the first example, right, when we talked about the $100. And you can pay attention, and you see that at the end of 50 years, the result has exponentially grown. So time is key, which means the earlier we start investing, the better it is. The more time we give for our investment to work for us, the more time we give our money to do its work so we can become financially free. Now, the other thing I want to show you is that you can make this compound effect even more powerful by making contributions on a regular basis. The previous example, we just took $100 and we invested it for 50 years, let's say. Here, I'm showing you that if you take $100, plus every year you add another $100, again, it's not such a big amount of money, right? But at the end of 50 years, it's no longer $11,739, it actually becomes $128,030. So we can take the most powerful force on earth and make it even more powerful. I hope the light bulbs are going off right now. And maybe you might think that I came up with some crazy idea, but I want to tell you that actually compound interest is not new. It's nothing new. It actually dates back to ancient times. This is the first compound interest table that dates to 15th century. Think about it, 15th century. And this is a merchant's interest table at 1, 1.5, and 2%. Now, this is the figure and the rule of 72. The rule of 72 is actually how long it takes to double your money. Let's say you are investing your money at 12%. You take 72, you divide it by 12, the result you get is 6. That means in 6 years, at 12% per year, you can double your money. Think about it. So this is not something new. This is not something I came up with. It's been there for years. But unfortunately, we don't use it. It's not, this knowledge has been there for centuries, but it's not being used. If it actually was used, a lot more people would be a lot more financially free, financially independent, and financially successful. So now that we know this magical compound effect, The question is, what do we do? How can we apply? How can you leave today from here and put it to work? I'll show you. Let's say you take $1, just $1, okay? This table shows us at what interest rate, how many times your money multiplies. So we're going back to the same example, 10% growth per year, which for Uzbekistan is quite low. If you take $1 and you invest it at 10%, after 1 year you have $1, after 5 years it's $2, after 10 it's $3, after 15, $4, after 20 years it's $7, and the list goes on. And after 33 years, you have $23. Now, if we only add a little bit more interest, like for the reality of Uzbekistan, 20% is a much closer number to the interest rate that we have in the country. Look, at 20%, after 33 years, your money multiplied 410 times. Imagine, 410 times. If you put it at 15%, every year, that $1 would become $101 in 33 years. So this is how we can make our money work for us. This is how we can put our money to work. Now you can tell me compound interest does not work for me because of my religious beliefs. I don't believe in interest. I don't want to earn interest. The key here is to understand the compound effect. It doesn't have to be in cash through interest. It can be through any financial instrument. As long as you understand how the compound effect works, you can make it work for you in the instrument that you like. For example, I like stocks. So what you do is you invest your money in stocks. If the stock pays you dividend, then you take that dividend and you reinvest it back in stocks. Or maybe you like real estate because you like to touch and you feel better when you have real estate. What you do is you invest in real estate, you rent out that real estate, so it brings you more money, right? It generates money, it brings you income through rent. So you take that rent, you accumulate it, and again, you reinvest it into buying more real estate. So that's how we can make it work very easily. People who are financially literate the world over actually use this compound effect to make their own lives better, to make their families' lives better. I want to give one example. I really like in the West, when a baby is born, they open a bank account for that baby. And usually it's the child's parents. And the child's parent puts some money every year on a regular basis into that account. And maybe when the child has birthday parties or birthdays, some friends and family also give some money. So they take and put all of that money back into that account. And when the child turns 18, guess what he has? He has a big chunk of money that sets him up for a great life. Isn't it great? I would love to have that. If we can do that, it would make everyone's life easier. But how can we do it? We need to make sure that people know about this. How can people know about this? We need to educate people. Financial literacy has to be taught at schools. It has to be taught at universities. People need to understand how it works so they can apply it in their own life. And when they apply it in their own life, countries, the whole world will develop even more and better. So what I want to tell you today, everyone dreams about financial freedom. But what I want to say, let's stop dreaming about it. Let's take the most powerful force in the universe and put it to work to help us achieve our dreams.